to find out more about technology and a few issues, because there's a concern about the multiplicity of cards. Senate have a card. Of course, they say the Ghana card is the main card. Is this guy's card going to yield to the main card? And then there are a few other issues. Stay with us. Welcome back. Tonight, we're speaking to the Chief Executive of the National Health Insurance Scheme, Dr. Victor Bampoe. Prior to this, of course, in the Bahama one, he was the Deputy Minister of Health. He's worked in various places, the Global Fund, UNAIDS. He was country rep for, I think, Kenya. And he's done many, many things in public health. So your whole life, so by the way, did you actually practice as a doctor in consultation? Or you were, because you look like you've become like a health administrator type of person. So
there are more than 16 specialties, and public health is one of them.
Okay.
So it's not every doctor sits in a clinic.
So you're a public health specialist?
I'm a public health
specialist. But did you study at Kolebu? Where were you trained?
Yes, I'm a class of 93, Kolebu, and then I did my public health in the US at Johns Hopkins. So do you actually work in a hospital? Oh, of course I did. Yes. Oh, no, I did. Yes. So during the training, I worked at Kolebu, and then I worked in several...
But you opted for public health?
Yes.
I see. So, yes. So you like, you are not into, you don't care too much about consulting and carrying medicine for people?
I think early on I decided that I wanted to affect thousands of people, hundreds of people at the same time. And there are people who love to do internal medicine. But I must tell you that actually in our setting, in the healthcare setting, especially to be a doctor, the highest form is actually when you are a clinician. So I remember, and I say this with all humility, when I was in school, I think I was quite good at internal medicine. So one day after I started my public health career, I went to buy some medicine at a pharmacy. And one of my professors, Professor Matekole, he saw me, he said, I hear you are doing public health. What a waste.
What a waste of a fine brain. You should be a clinician.
You know, but I'm fascinated by public health. I mean, and these kinds of discussions. You know.
I was at a program organized by the College of Physicians and Surgeons, and somebody said in Ghana we are into sickness care. Every time we talk about health, where is money for treatment? You mentioned prevention, promotion before palliative care. Why do you think, is it the business entities that make, because in Ghana every time we talk about health, hey, we don't have medicine, we don't have money. But we should spend more time saying eat right, exercise, sleep. You don't even need to fall sick.
Yes.
Of course, people will fall sick.
Yes.
Because not every sickness that comes from lifestyle. But there's a lot of conversation around money to spend to treat sick people.
Yes.
As against telling healthy people how not to get sick.
Exactly.
Do you agree that we need to spend more time on that?
Yes. I mean, this whole thing about medicine as food and food as medicine. Yeah. So I think, and I talked earlier about the mindset shift.
Yeah.
And so that's part of what we're talking about, wellness, looking at the promotive aspects. It's not gain too much currency. And it's not only in Ghana. I've been working in many other countries. And it's more interesting to put up hospitals and to put, you know, that's been the tradition. Now we are trying to dial that back a little bit and make sure that people don't get ill in the first place. I think that's the way.
I suspect that people have built hospitals, so they want people to fall sick. So every time we're talking about, let's buy medicine, let's buy syringes. But I think, or is it that when people don't fall sick, people won't have any work to do? So it's like we have to buy medicine. I don't get enough coverage on media around healthy lifestyle and good diets and all the things you need to do to prevent some of the particularly communicable diseases.
Yes.
Because, I mean, yes, NCDs may come because population changes. But cholera and these type of things that you are supposed to...
But Bernard, actually the non-communicable diseases need the preventive, promotive even more. Because it's the lifestyle changes that are causing this. You know, back in the day when people used to walk to their farms, they were very healthy.
And they were eating okro and abedru.
You know.
Now we are eating fried chicken.
Exactly.
And the trouble with me is that it's happening in poor communities too. So in the past, we used to think these things were rich people's diseases. But now you go to local coastal communities, they have communicable diseases, and yet people are also having strokes and hypertension in those poor communities.
And at ages that will blow your mind.
What is the problem? What's causing that?
Now we have people 11 years old, they have hypertension. I saw somebody who had prostate cancer at 31 years old, and it was a stage 4 prostate cancer.
In the past, this would have been much older person.
I mean, if you go to the literature that I used in medical school, it says that you need, prostate cancer, it's after you are 60 or 70.
Wow.
Now you can't take it for granted.
Things have changed.
It's because of what we eat and, the environment and the things that we are breathing in and, all sorts of different things are causing this now.
Your membership has grown. There's a big issue around consolidating cards. The government has tried to optimize this by saying that there's a single source of truth called the Ghana card.
Yes.
So that the chip embedded card has all your details. But a lot of you and your colleagues, SNIT and all, you still have cards. I think SNIT have tried to yield so that the Ghana card becomes the card you use. But I think your card is a different type of card.
No,
right?
we are still working very hard with the NHIA to make sure that the Ghana card is the single card.
Okay.
Yes, we have a program with the NHIA where we are trying to make sure that we synchronize the cards. It's going a bit slower than we anticipated. That's why you will still see that our cards are still in vogue and being used. But eventually we'll phase out our cards.
So there'll be a point where my Ghana card will have all the data.
There are many people who do that now.
Is it?
Yes, yes.
Oh, wonderful.
And in fact, some of the digital tools that we employ, like the *929# or the My NHIS app, you can actually do that linkage yourself. Yes, you can try it. And after the program, I'll help you to
*929#
or My NHIS, app. We can try to make sure that your card is revalidated, and then you can link it to your Ghana card.
The current government doesn't seem to believe that Zipline was a solution to any major problem, because yesterday we were told in Parliament that the company is going to close some of its centers. And we interviewed Dr. Titus Bayu, who says they are using the thing to convey exercise books and things. So this was presented as a major innovation in delivering healthcare at the last mile. You are one of the technocrats in healthcare for this government. Why don't you want Zipline to continue?
So, I have my own views, and let me first say that I will not add a single thing to what Professor Bayo said. I completely agree with him.
Really?
I remember in Geneva in 2009 or 10 when Zipline came to make a presentation. At that time, I was working for the Global Fund to fight AIDS, TB, and malaria. There was a board meeting. Zipline is fantastic. They've used it in Rwanda and so on. But like you remember, I talked about things being fit for purpose, and I talked about the Toyota Vitz and the Rolls-Royce model. And so, if what Professor Bayo is saying, that is being used to carry mosquito nets and is being used to carry condoms and things, then I think it's at an expensive. It's the cost of carrying those is not worth it.
Really?
Yes. So
the head of the health committee, the ranking member, Dr. Ayuefree, says people will die if Zipline shuts down those 3 centers. So he believes that Zipline must be allowed to continue.
Yeah. So once again, I'm not armed with all the details. So I'm just giving what I've heard in the news and all that. But I believe that, like everything else that we use, because especially now we have, we don't have all the resources that we used to have. Donors are pulling away and things. We must make each dollar, each cedi stretch as far as it can go. And I think there are people better versed than I, like the minister and so on, who are looking at this and they think that this is the, I don't think that they've said, and the minister said in Parliament, that they're not cancelling. I think they are looking at how they can make it more efficient.
There's a 175 million debt that has not been paid. I think government hasn't paid them. And they are saying that it's affecting their financial viability. Therefore, they are shutting down 3 operational.
So they are shutting down, yes. Yeah.
But why wouldn't you tell government to pay them? Since there's so much money made available for health, including the 3.4 billion, don't you think we should spend some to pay the Zipline people?
No, I'm interested in making sure that our health facilities are getting funding. That's my mandate, and that's what I'll focus on.
When the U.S. government decided to withdraw funding for certain areas, USAID obviously has shut down. They were doing a lot of work in health. How materially has that decision in the US affected the pool of money for healthcare delivery in Ghana?
So initially there was a jolt, but remember that the president then asked that we make some money available.
Yeah.
So we put money in the formula, in our budget, and currently there are many of the sister organizations under the Ministry of Health that have benefited. Ghana AIDS Commission, the Food and Drugs Authority, and a few others who have come, and through the NHIA, there's a part of our formula, our budget, which is for the Ministry of Health. And the minister has directed that they receive funds. So it's not as bad as it could have been, because we've been actually proactive in making sure that we plug.
Since the Africa Health Sovereignty Summit happened in August, what substantially have we done? Because I think the president hosted that to say we have to start thinking about raising money to finance health in Africa.
Yes.
Has anything materially happened between August 5 and today since that?
And by the way, you did a brilliant job hosting that. And then after that, in September, we were in New York, where it was revisioned as the Accra Reset. And we had even more stakeholders coming in and bringing in their ideas. Now, where we are at is that, you remember in New York, the president said he was going to form a certain council where, there would be, that's where the thought leadership will reside, where people would think about how we move forward in practical ways, form some kind of subcommittees looking at different financing, all the subcommittees that would make the work go forward. And that's actually in process. I know that there are meetings going on, and very soon the names would be mentioned, and then it would go full steam ahead. You know that Madam Helen Clark was here, a few days ago, even talking about the Accra. There's been a lot of interest across the continent and across the world, yes. And it has put Ghana in a certain light. And we are happy that NHIA is actually privileged to be part of this under the Ministry of Health, because we can use the funding that has been given to us to demonstrate some of the things that we're talking about.
Wonderful. So you have 60% of the population, 20 million. When will we come back to 80%? This is my last question.
Yes, we're pushing hard, and I just wanted to say that the 20 million are those who are active. On our database, we actually have 28 million people on the database. Yeah, but we don't believe in just expanding coverage for expansion's sake.
All right.
We believe in making sure that when you have the card, it works, and it works well, and you get the maximum benefit. That's the reason why we're there.
I wish you well. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Victor Bampoe is the Chief Executive of the National Health Insurance Authority. They run the health insurance scheme, and they are moving very quickly. We have been privileged to have him on the show for his first interview since he was appointed. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Have a good night.